Hey Georgia Pinches fans, it's that time again, time for a new video. In this video, we're once again at the North Georgia State Fair. This time, we visit a man known as the Birdman. Not only does the Birdman put on a great show, he also does a lot to protect endangered bird species around the world. Joe Krathwohl, aka the Birdman, has trained birds for over 25 years. He offers free shows around the globe and also trains birds for the movie industry. You can learn more about Joe and his life at birdman.tv. We hope you enjoy our little video about the Birdman's visit to the North Georgia State Fair. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications so you're informed each time we post a new video. Also, if you enjoy this video and know somebody else who might enjoy it, go ahead and share it with them. And stay tuned because we got even more videos coming up from the North Georgia State Fair this year. We've also got a new video coming up from the East Palisades Trails and Bamboo Forest for you trail lovers out there. Also, back by popular demand, we've got a new Randonautica video coming up. You won't want to miss that one. Where do we find the time to do all this? Man, I'm exhausted. Thanks for watching, enjoy the video, and as always, leave only footprints.
My name is Joe Krathwohl. I am known as the Birdman. That's because for the last 40 years I've been supplying trained birds to programs at zoos, parks, aquariums, and fairs around the world. Now I do have a big facility back in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's called the World Center for Exotic Birds, and it's almost 2 acres of nothing but birds. In fact, we take care of about 400 birds right now. That includes a few different programs that we operate. That includes our Nevada Bird Rescue, where we take in injured wild birds, hopefully to rehabilitate and release again. We also help pet owners with their bird problems. Most just need help with training. Also, we have our large flight cages there, so when these guys are not traveling, they have plenty of room to stretch and fly. And we have our endangered species breeding program space there as well. So lots going on back at home. But we have a lot going on for you out here as well. I'm going to introduce you guys to a nice variety of birds from around the world. But before I bring them out, I do have to mention a couple of safety things here. You see, every bird in this show has the ability to fly anywhere at any time. That's what makes my show different than other family bird programs. But with that comes a lot of risk, mostly to the birds. There's a lot of crazy, dangerous things out here, especially when carts start racing back and forth behind us. You know, they're always afraid of a predator sneaking up on them. Well, they might be staring at something, worried about it, and end up landing somewhere they didn't plan on, like right in the middle of the audience. Now, if that happens, please don't panic. They don't want to be that close to you either. But if you can stay calm, stay seated, the birds will realize you're not part of the problem, and they'll actually walk right close to you on their way back up here. Now, if something more major happens and it scares a bird inside, it might cause them to fly up to a higher spot of safety so they can reevaluate the area. To you guys, it might look like the bird just flew off, but there's nowhere out there for them to go. They're just trying to make sure they get out of harm's way. But I may have to stop the show and jog after them so that they can see my face and know where to fly down to safety. The welfare of the birds always comes first. Now, if something like that were to stop the show, I deeply apologize, but definitely come back to a later show so you can see whatever birds we may have missed. Now, it hasn't happened out here. We've been out here a couple days now, and it can get pretty high traffic. I call these guys on the carts, they're miniature NASCAR drivers out here. So, but we haven't had a fly off yet. But I know if I didn't say that speech, that's when it would happen. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the first bird I'm going to bring out for you guys is actually the most famous type of bird in the world, and you may not even realize it. That's thanks to the Hollywood sound effects departments. For some reason, they have decided that the call of the Australian laughing kookaburra belongs in every jungle scene of every movie we watch. It is really annoying when you know your bird calls because it messes with the fun movies. Biggest example I know of is Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark. the very opening scene. All it says at the bottom of the screen is South America. This is when they're walking through the jungle up to that cave with a big boulder in it. But as they're walking, I counted 9 different times I hear Australian kookaburra in the background. And what makes it worse, they filmed that scene in Hawaii. You can go there on a tour and visit. I did. There's no kookaburra there. All right. Now, kookaburra are the largest of the kingfisher family. Kingfishers are small birds with thick beaks. Many of them do catch fish off rivers and streams. But the kookaburra, they like to hang out in woodland areas. This photograph behind me is actually kookaburra habitat in Australia. These birds are hunting rodents, small reptiles, and large bugs. Now, I did bring the kookaburra for you guys to meet. He's the smallest bird in the show, so he's up here safely around the corner. We're going to see if we can get him to fly to me first, and then I'll walk him down to the microphone. All right, buddy boy. You ready? Yeah. What do you see over there? Nothing. Right here. Cookie, cookie. Cookie. What? There's nothing up there. Come on, bud. There you go. You take it. No, just wants to look around today. I don't know what you're looking at up there. There's nothing up there. All right, we're going to try one more time here. Sometimes, like a computer, you just restart it. All right, here we go. That's Cookie the Kookaburra kicking off the show. And we're going to let him fly himself back in. Just like that. Perfect. All right. Next, I want to introduce you to a type of bird I really love having in my programs because of the important role these birds play for our environment. You see, by eating carrion or dead animal carcasses, vultures help to reduce the amount of decay and bacteria across the countryside. That way other animals don't come along and try to eat it, because they could get sick or even die from it. Now, we have 2 types of vultures here in the U.S. Both are found right here in Georgia. The ones that are the easiest to see are the turkey vultures, and that's because they have a fantastic sense of smell. Turkey vultures can detect the gases coming off of a carcass from up to a half-mile away. So when they're out looking for food, they're usually in the air circling and soaring. Just makes it easier to see them. But we also have the black vultures. Now, black vultures, like most birds in the world, have no sense of smell. So when they're out looking for food, they're down on the ground, foraging around, and it does make it harder to spot them. Well, you're going to have an easy time seeing my black vulture. He is 6 years old, and his name is Gomez. Be careful, bud. Please grab a seat while we're flying the birds. Now, it's easy to see why they're called black vultures. All black except for the white feathers on the outer wingtips. Now, what you can't quite see is how smart these birds are. Black vultures live in some very challenging environments, like urban Atlanta, Orlando, Miami, where fields are getting smaller and parking lots are getting bigger. So black vultures have to be more and more creative on how they find their food. In fact, they're even learning how to gang up and attack animals that are sick or injured and help them to become vulture food a little bit faster. Just walk with me, bud. Hey, walk with me down here. There you go. Now, if it seems like Gomez is a little on the tame side, he is. I wish it wasn't that way, but he was originally found as a baby bird in North Carolina, and unfortunately the people that found him, I know they thought they were helping, but they've made a very simple mistake a lot of people make when they find birds in the wild. They started feeding them right away. You see, especially with the young birds, if they become tame, they won't survive very long after they get released, and that's almost what happened to this guy. When those first people did release him, instead of flying off to be with other vultures, no, he headed right for the nearest park and started going from picnic table to picnic table asking people for food. So he got captured again, this time by the game wardens, and they took him to a raptor rehab center outside of Charlotte. And those folks did the right thing. They put him in a big flight cage with other vultures, hoping he would model after their behavior. But it was, well, hold on, we got a card driving through the show here. Hold on, bud. Hold on, there we go. Keep his attention on me. Yeah, see big predators like that suddenly sneaking up. It's even worse when they pull in to see the show because then all the focus is on the bird and all their alarms go off. So I just distract them like that and we just keep moving forward. Well, in any case, when they put him in that big flight cage with other vultures, it was already too late. He didn't start acting like them. He just sat by the door every day waiting for the people to come back. So they gave up and sent him out to me so that I could show you guys the vultures are not ugly and disgusting. They can be super smart, and again, they play that important role as nature's garbage men. And now Gomez is just such a well-trained ambassador for vultures. You're all done, bud. Here we go. Still having a hard time getting you to exit out here. Come on, bud. Come on. No, that's just for the night shows. He's just experimenting with new behaviors. It's okay. No, he thinks that's part of the show, but come on, bud. Hey, Gomez. Hey. All right, I don't want to give you food for that. I want to give you food for the normal exit. Come on, bud. Come on. Come on. Come on. I know, it's a nice quiet day. You can even hear the air machines in there. Come on, bud. Gomez. Come on. Come on. You got to go that way. Okay, there we go. That's Gomez, ladies and gentlemen. I usually don't have to coax him in. Usually he's got it down, but this is oh, that's right. This is the first day we've done the early show, so he's probably going, you know, every day they change the contract on me. All right. Now, next, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to buddy I got sitting up here. I always stop to see if there's anything in the environment that I'm not seeing that the birds are, but I can't tell. A couple of balloons walking by, that's about it. All right, come on, buddy. You tell me if you see anything wrong. This is Pablo, ladies and gentlemen. Pablo is a military macaw. Now, this is a type of parrot you would find in the rainforests of southern Mexico and Central America. Now, these birds are an endangered species, and that actually started back in the 1970s when so many of them were captured and shipped off to other areas to become pets. Now, in 1992, the United States passed a law prohibiting the import of wild-caught parrots, but unfortunately their numbers continue to decline, probably due to deforestation and habitat encroachment. Now, luckily for Pablo, he wasn't a part of any of that stuff. He was born and raised in San Diego, California. He is now 39 years old. Now, oh, you're staring that way too. What is it? Is it just that balloon way out there, a mile away, floating away? Yep. See, they have much better eyesight than us. All I have to do is watch their faces and they tell me what's going on. Well, in any case, this guy was in San Diego living at a friend's house. Now, this friend is an older gentleman who used to breed lots of macaws and cockatoos for sale to pet stores around the West. And he's now in his 80s. He asked if I would adopt all of his birds so that he could retire. When I went down there to meet the birds, the way he had his aviary set up, he has these big privacy doors over the ends. That way whoever's feeding and cleaning won't disrupt the nesting birds inside. But you can't tell who's in there until you open the door and look inside. When I opened this guy's door, he was right in the doorway, and this is what I got in my face. I said, wait a minute, what is his story? They said, yeah, he came in about 10 years ago, but he doesn't get along with other birds. And I said, oh, that means no girlfriend. I said, well, you know what? Maybe he was hand-raised. Maybe he prefers humans over other birds. So we're going to take him back to Las Vegas and see if we can get him a different job. Now, at my place in Las Vegas, I built this awesome training cage. It's about twice as big as this stage area, 12 feet tall with a netted ceiling on it. That's where we do our initial flight training. We'll start with a perch just like this. And all we do is ask the bird to jump to the arm. As soon as they land, boom, they get that food treat. Positive reinforcement. Now what that does is communicate to the bird that the best choice to make is to come right here to the arm. And then what we do is we start making it harder and harder. We increase the distance. We'll get the bird to fly up from a high perch down low, maybe from the ground on up, whatever we can do to mess that bird up. What we're actually doing is building confidence that they will choose flying to the arm no matter how difficult the environment is. That way when we come outdoors and there's helicopters, airplanes, drones, dogs, cats, carts, all kinds of stuff, the bird will still continue to make that best choice. Well, this guy mastered the training cage in 7 days. We couldn't figure out any more ways to mess him up. He was beating our challenges left and right. So we started flying him in the show, and he's been doing great ever since. So the moral of the story is, if you're ever thinking about adopting a bird, doesn't matter if it's wild or hand-raised, second-hand, third-hand, fourth-hand, whatever the case may be. If you know a little bit about positive reinforcement and food management, your behavior may not be free flight. It may be just petting or stepping up on the arm. You give them that treat, and they are your friend for life. Let's recap your story. You didn't want to be a breeder. No. You wanted to be with people. Yeah. Now that you're in the show, it's so exciting it twists you sideways. There you go. Good job. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my buddy Pablo. Good job. Now this time, don't do that final scream. Everything. You just have to go really slow. All right, kiddo. Follow me out nice and easy. Now this is Dallas, ladies and gentlemen. Dallas is an African crown crane. Now this, well, let's grab a seat in the front row. There we go, thank you. Just grab a seat, walk slow. Walk slow, slower is better. Faster is predator. Okay, there you go. One of my first falconry mentors taught me that the international sign of friendship is a slow movement. All right. Now this is Dallas. Dallas is an African crown crane. This is the type of bird you'd find in the open grasslands and savannas of Central Africa. These birds spend most of their days down on the ground looking for grasses and seeds, bugs and insects. They might even catch a mouse if they're having a good day. But because they spend all that time on the ground, they have to be very careful of predators. Things like jackals. Ready? You ready? Upwind. Good control, upwind. There we go. Things like jackals, hyenas, even a lion would love to eat this bird for lunch. That's why she's extra sensitive to sudden movement and approaches like this. I'm always running interference. I want her to think this is the safest place in the world, so all she has to worry about is flying back and forth to her little treats here. Now, crown cranes actually keep themselves safe because they're the only type of crane that can wrap their toes around a tree branch. You see, our sandhill cranes that live here in the U.S., they, like all other cranes, are flat-footed. They have to be in big, wide open areas so that they can run along the ground and get airborne before danger gets close to them. But crown cranes, they'll simply fly up and sleep in the trees all night long. That's the safest place to be because crane eyes do not work well after dark. We have 7 species of cranes at our facility. If I'm running late, we go out and feed them after dark. They really freak out with the shadows. They don't even recognize me. Oh, she's gonna have a problem here. The wind feels a little bit too much for her. Oh, you want to try again? Okay, try again. You just have to just coast right down here. It's okay. I know you're feeling the breeze. No, she felt the breeze. It's okay. 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 Let me, except she's on the wrong side of the fence here. Kind of like me all my life. All right. Let's, I don't know how to make this easy for you, kid. We got extra electrical cords here. I know, I'm sorry. Here, can you come up to the top of the fence? Show them how those toes work. Come on, you can do this. Oh, okay. Now we just got to get you turned around. Bring it right down into here. I know it's a tight spot. Oh, you got to go back to there. Okay. See a little bit of breeze. Even though this bird's 4 feet tall, she only weighs about 5 pounds. Don't come up behind her, guys. Just hold still for a moment. There we go. Ah, she found a way to land upwind and inside the safety zone. Oh, did I drop all those? All right, well, I meant to do that to reward you for a good landing. All right. Hey, anything that rewards them for staying in this area is fine with me. Cranes like this can coast for several miles very easily, and boy, when I first started training her, she sure did. 3 years later, now she knows where she's going. That's my friend Dallas, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes people ask me, how come you're the only one that's flying a crane at a traveling show? Is it a special secret? I say, no, I'm just the only one willing to go through this. I got nervous over here with this one. All right. Let's bring out a little bit bigger bird for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. This is a bird I'm very lucky to have as part of the family, because very few people get the chance to ever work with this type of bird, let alone start their own breeding program with them. And now we are talking about the largest flying birds in the world, the Andean condors. Now please don't mix these up with smaller California condors. I know those guys get a lot of attention in the news, but there are two types of condors in the world, both very endangered. It's just that the larger come from South America. Well, today you're going to meet the youngest of my 5 condors who live with me. Now this young lady was originally born at the Buffalo Zoo in New York. And I was allowed to bring her home when she was just a couple of days old. And at that point, she was so small, she fit under my seat for the plane ride home. Now she wouldn't quite fit there. She is 27 years old, weighs about 23 pounds, and has a wingspan of almost 10 feet. This is that same little baby bird, and her name is Vicky. Go get him, kiddo. Now, Andean condors are so big, they don't actually fly the same as other types of birds. Their chest muscles simply aren't strong enough to pump these big wings and allow the birds to take off from level ground. So instead, they prefer to live up in the high mountains of Colombia, Peru, Chile, and Argentina. From altitudes of up to 10,000 feet, these birds can run and launch themselves like a big hang glider, and then they pretty well soar wherever they need to go. Now, since condors are the largest of the vulture family, the only place they really need to go is searching for that carrion. And the types of animals they might find up in the Andes include goats and sheep, and even llamas. And now that the numbers of those animals are all on the rise, the chance for condors to make a rebound is pretty good, but only if we continue helping them out through breeding and release. And that's where Vicky comes in. You see, in a couple more years, we're going to retire her from doing these programs. She's already been living next door to her future boyfriend. His name is King Edward. We want to place them right next to our oldest breeding pair of condors, named King George and Queen Elizabeth. The ultimate goal is to produce 2 parent-raised condors there every summer and send those young down to South America for release to the wild. For today, I just want to show you how big she is. Let me see if I can get her to jump up to my arm. I'll hold her up so you can see this wing spread better. There we go. Now, condors do not have good grip, so she uses her wings to balance. And when we hit the right spot, oh, there it is. That feels good right there. That's an organic ceiling fan, ladies and gentlemen. But it runs on beef hard. When it runs out, she just fails. Okay, let's see if we can bring her right back up here. She's a little distracted today. Come on, kiddo. There we go. We're gonna run you right back up in there, and one more all the way inside. There you go. No pressure, no pressure. You got it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Queen Victoria. Little distracted. But I'm glad you guys applauded and made some noise. And last night it was a real quiet crowd, real dead audience. Thought it was a buffet. Hey, that's bird training, bird pun. But don't pigeonhole me, okay? All right. I have one more bird to bring out for you guys. Come on, yeah. This is Kurt, ladies and gentlemen. Kurt is a blue and gold macaw. Now this is a larger species of macaw, found a little further to the south. So now we're in the rainforests of Colombia, Venezuela, and northern Brazil. Kurt's about 18 years old. He was given to me by an elderly couple in Las Vegas, and when he got to my place, I think he noticed that every afternoon I'm out there handing out food treats, training as much as I can. I think he just wanted to be a part of the action because one day I suddenly walked past him and he gave me this nice big, oh, right, you hear those air machines, huh? All right, we'll see if we can get that door closed for you guys. All right, so, whoop. All right, lock in on me here, lock in on me, lock in on me, right here, right here. I suddenly walked past him and gave me this nice big hello. No, hello. Hello. See, this is when you're not watching me. See, I'm not directing the show at the moment. A nice big hello. Hello. There we go. And then I turned around, unbelievable that he could talk, and I said, what else can you do? And you know what he did? He laughed at me. He laughed at me really loud. Trying to pump him up here. And then I said, you got anything else? Now you can do the dog. Now you can do the dog. Okay, there you go. Oh, the birds are all looking around today. The shadows are all different at 2:30 than they are at 6:30. Well, you know what? Kurt helps me out with my condor conservation efforts. 32 years ago, the Fish and Wildlife Service sent me my first Andean condor. And ever since then, I've been working hard to help condors out in any way that I can. One thing that I did was start a foundation called the Condor Fund. Now, its mission is to raise a little extra money and direct that money to condor conservation projects. For example, right now at the south rim of the Grand Canyon in Arizona, we're actually building a condor emergency medical center. You see, it's about an 8-hour drive from the south rim up to the official condor facilities they have there. And if a bird is bleeding or badly injured, they need to be stabilized before they make that trip. So we're going to be able to help them out with that. We've been doing our own condor first aid for 30 years, so why not help out the California condors as well? Well, Kurt's helping me to build this facility because at every show we get a few people that might want to come see a bird up close. Maybe some that just want to help me to help condors, and this is a fun way to do both. He's going to hang out here for a couple minutes, and on your way out, you can come on by, hold up a bill within his reach. He'll be glad to take them, and he puts them right into his box. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for coming out to meet my family of birds. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon out here at the fair. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.